7.ess.3, and 7.ess.2 read aloud. You can listen to this video as many times as you want. You're going to want to make sure that you pause after every question, scroll down in your exam to answer that question after I've read it out loud, and then scroll back up and unpause the video to hear the following question or the next question. By the time you see this, there will be a spot for a first name and a last name. So in just a second, you're going to pause this video, scroll down, type in your first name, type in your last name, then scroll back up and click unpause. From there, I will start reading the questions. So take a second to pause, write your first and last name, and then unpause the video. Okay, let's get started. Number 1, what is the driving force for surface ocean currents? What is the driving force for surface ocean currents? Is it A, density layering, or B, global winds? Notice the word surface is bolded because that helps you. What is the driving force for surface ocean currents? A, density layering, B, global winds. Go ahead and pause this video, scroll down, answer, and then come back up. Unpause the video to hear number 2. Number 2, what force guides deep ocean currents? Deep ocean currents. Notice it's in bold, the word deep, because that will help you answer it. Is it A, density difference, or B, global winds? Again, what force guides deep ocean currents? A, density differences, or B, global winds? Pause the video, scroll, answer, come back, and unpause the video for number 3. Number 3, what causes the wind deflection? Notice in parentheses it says bending. So what causes the wind deflection or bending from the north and south poles? So what causes the wind to bend from the north and south poles or deflect? Is it A, the rotation of Earth on its axis, or C, the tilt of the Earth's axis relative to its orbital plane? A, the rotation of the Earth on its axis, or C, the tilt of the Earth's axis relative to its orbital plane. I accidentally forgot to change the C to the letter B, so really it should be A or B, but in this case it's choice A or C. Again, what causes the wind to deflect or bend from north to south poles? The rotation of the Earth's axis or the tilt of the Earth's axis relative to its orbital plane. Go ahead and pause, scroll down, answer, and then come back up to unpause, and I will read number 4. Number 4, which of the following pictures best shows heat transfer through radiation? So you'll notice radiation is in bold. So you're looking for one that shows radiation. Choice A is an egg frying on a frying pan. Choice B is the radiator with hot air coming out and cold air going down, out and up, and then cold air going down. C is a boy roasting marshmallows near a fire. And then D is hot air rising and then cold air sinking. Again, you're looking for radiation. Which of the following pictures best shows radiation? A is egg on a frying pan. B is a radiator with warm air rising, cold air sinking. C is a little boy roasting marshmallows near a fire. And then D is the warm air rising and the cold air sinking. A, B, C, or D. Go ahead and pause the video and then come back up for number 5. Number 5. The diagram below shows the layers of Earth's atmosphere. Which of the following correctly labels the layers represented A, B, C, and D from Earth moving upward in the correct sequence? So this is A, closest to the Earth. This is B, above that. This is C, close to outer space. And by the time you reach D, you're up into outer space. They want to know what is the correct layers, what is the correct order of layers going from A to D. There's 2 choices. If you choose choice A, you're saying that A is the troposphere, B is the stratosphere, C is the mesosphere, and D is the thermosphere. Okay, that's if you choose choice A. If you choose choice B, then you're saying A is the thermosphere, B is the mesosphere, C is the stratosphere, and D, which got cut off, D right there would be the troposphere. So again, what are the layers of the atmosphere in order from Earth all the way to outer space? Is it A, troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere? Or is it B, thermosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere, troposphere? Go ahead and pause, answer, and then come back up to the video, unpause, and get the next question read out loud. Number 6, which factor causes global wind patterns? Which causes global wind patterns? A, changes in the distance between the Earth and the Moon, or B, unequal heating of the Earth's surface by the sun? 6, which factor causes global wind patterns? Changes in the distance between the Earth and the Moon, or B, unequal heating of the Earth's surface by the sun? Number 7, what is the Earth's main source of thermal energy? The main source of thermal energy. A, the iron core of the Earth, or B, radiation from the sun? What is the Earth's main source of thermal energy? A, the iron core of the Earth, or B, radiation from the sun? Pause. Number 8, the picture shows an area where the air currents will form due to the uneven heating of the Earth. In which direction will air currents most likely move? So think about the way air currents move. That's also known as wind. Think about the way wind moves. Does it go from cold to hot or hot to cold? And in this case, look where the cold is and look where the warm is. So is it going to go from A, the land, toward the sea, or is it B, going to go from the sea toward the land? So is it going from land to sea like that, which is A, or is it going from sea to land like that, which is choice B? Again, you're trying to figure out the way air currents will most likely move, and you have to think to yourself, what way does the wind move? Cold to hot or hot to cold? Go ahead, pause, answer, come back. Number 9, the picture below shows heat being transferred to the person's hand on the metal rod. So the person's hand is touching the metal rod. Is that A, conduction, or B, convection? What type of heat transfer is this? The person's hand is on the metal rod. A, conduction, B, convection. Number 10, where in the diagram will air pressure be the greatest? Air pressure be the greatest. Is it going to be A, at the beach, which is right here at the beach, or is it going to be B, at the top of the mountain right here? Where's air pressure going to be the greatest, meaning the most, the highest? Where are you going to see most of the air pressure pressing down? A, at the beach right here, or B, at the top of the mountain? Number 11, which instrument measures air pressure? Which instrument measures air pressure? A, an anemometer, or B, a barometer? Again, which weather instrument measures air pressure? A, an anemometer, or B, a barometer? Number 12, which arrow best represents the direction of the jet stream that influences weather across the continental United States? Again, which arrow best represents the direction of the jet stream that influences weather across the continental United States? Your choices are just arrow 1 or arrow 2. So arrow 1, goes, look at my mouse, goes from here that way. Okay, so it looks like it's going from west to east like that. Then number 2 is your other choice. 2, look at my mouse, goes from here to here. So number 2 would be from east to west. Okay, so arrow 1 or arrow 2. Number 13, the map below shows the location of the Gulf Stream, an ocean current that moves tropical water along the east coast of the United States. I apologize that United States is not capitalized. Which of the following best describes how the Gulf Stream affects the weather along the east coast? So again, the Gulf Stream brings that tropical weather along the United States. Which of the following best describes how the Gulf Stream affects the weather? A, it makes the air temperature cooler and the winds stronger. Or is it B, it makes the air temperature warmer and the air more humid? So what does the Gulf Stream do? A, makes the air temperature cooler and the wind stronger, or B, makes the air temperature warmer and more humid. Number 14, the picture below shows a weather instrument. What is this weather instrument designed to measure? Hint, it even says anemometer. You might not be able to see it, but it says anemometer down there. So that is an anemometer. Think about what that measures. Is it A, air temperature, or B, wind speed? A, air temperature, or B, wind speed? Number 15, which best describes why winds at the beach change direction between day and night? So it's talking about sea breezes and land breezes, which best describes why it goes from a sea breeze to a land breeze, or from a land breeze to a sea breeze between the daytime and the nighttime. Is it A, because the temperatures over the land and over the water change from daytime to nighttime? Or is it B, because the warm air over land sinks and stays in place over the land? Again, is it A, because the temperatures over the land and over the water change from day to night? Or is it B, because warm air over land sinks and stays in place over the land? Number 16, why does air pressure decrease from the troposphere to the exosphere? So as we are going from the bottom of the atmosphere, which is by the ground, the troposphere, all the way to outer space. Okay, so as we're increasing in altitude, it says the air pressure is decreasing. I want to know why. So why is it that as we go into outer space, the air pressure is decreasing? So as we increase in altitude, air pressure decreases. Why? Is it A, because there are fewer air molecules as altitude increases? Or is it B, because there are more air molecules as altitude increases? So think about what's happening as you go higher into the atmosphere, higher in altitude. Is it A, there's fewer air molecules up there as you go up? Or B, because there's more air molecules as you increase in altitude? Number 17. More solar energy is absorbed at the equator, Earth's equator, than at its poles. The equatorial regions, meaning the equator region, the regions at the equator, would be even hotter than they are if it were not for the winds that move heat from the equator towards the poles. What is the main cause of these global wind patterns? This question should sound similar to number 6. Not necessarily the exact same answers, but it's asking about global wind patterns. Is it A, the differences in air temperature cause the difference in air pressure? Or is it B, the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon move the air back and forth? Again, is it A, the difference in air temperature cause the difference in air pressure? Or B, the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon move the air back and forth? Number 18, we have two different directions of movement of coastal air, okay? That's also known as wind. So which diagram best models the wind, the movement of coastal air, the wind during the afternoon? You first have to ask yourself, is the afternoon show a sea breeze or does it show a land breeze? Okay, once you figure out whether the afternoon is a sea breeze or a land breeze, then you have to look at A and B. And you have to say to yourself, okay, this is the land right here, and this is the sea or the water. This is the land right here in B. This is the water. So now you got to look at the arrows and figure out which one is it. All right, so if it's a sea breeze, the arrows are going to go one way. If it's a land breeze during the day, the arrows will go a different way. So for choice A, you have the arrows going this way. If you look at those arrows, choice A. And then ignore this letter where it says C. Ignore that. Okay, ignore where it says C. You're just doing choice A right here. Or choice B right here. Again, ignore the letter D right here. Choice B right here, the arrows are going this way. So again, ask yourself, what breeze is it during the afternoon? Is it sea breeze or land breeze? That's the land, that's the ocean or the sea, that's the land, that's the ocean or the sea. Then look at the arrows. A has the arrow movement going this way. B, the arrow movement is in the opposite direction. It's going that way. Okay, pause, and then come back for the last two. Number 19. It says, using the diagram below, show or explain how the Earth is heated at locations 1, 2, and 3 using the words conduction, convection, and radiation. So we're using this, and we are using the words conduction, convection, and radiation. What I would like you to do first is I would like you to literally copy from where it says at the location. Okay, we're going to copy this. You're going to copy the whole thing. And then you're going to click paste in here, okay? If you do not do that and you do not click paste in there, all right, you will then not get all of your answer, or not your answers, excuse me. You will not get all credit because I just don't want it to be a line of words, okay? You actually have to remove the blanks and then answer or put in the blank something that's in parentheses. So for example, it says at location 1, comma, the blank, and it wants the object in the sky, transfers thermal energy through blank. What you're going to do is you're going to erase or delete this line, and instead you're going to actually put in the object in the sky, and you can delete all of that. So you can delete, you can delete all of this, and instead just write the object in the sky. So it'll say, at location 1, the blank, and I'll give you a hint, it's not moon. So do not put at location 1, the moon transfers thermal energy. It's the other one that's out during the daytime. At location 1, the blank transfers thermal energy through, and you're going to delete all of this, and it should either say radiation or conduction or convection, not all three. So it should say, at location 1, the not moon transfers thermal energy through radiation, or transfers thermal energy through conduction, or transfers thermal energy through convection to the blank. So where is the not moon transferring the heat to? Okay, that's what you're putting there. This occurs when the objects, and again, you're going to delete all this, and it should say either the objects are touching, or it's going to say the objects are not touching, okay? So, one of the other. Then the next part should say, at location 2, the blank, so you have to tell me what the next object is, heats the blank, so the second object, by... And then again, you're telling me whether it's conduction, convection, radiation. This means the objects are, again, you're writing touching or not touching. Then at location 3, once the air molecules become hot, the air molecules will start to, and this is where you really are going to be on your own for the last one. So for number 3, which is this right here, okay, right here, after those air molecules become hot, what will they start to do? So at number 3, the air molecules become hot. What are they going to start to do? Look what you need to include. You will need to explain what is happening to those air molecules as they're getting hot. You need to write about the density. So once the air molecules become hot, they will start to blah, blah, blah. When you tell me what they're doing, you need to mention the speed of the molecules. Are those air molecules getting faster or slower? Then you need to say whether that means they're taking up more space or less space, meaning volume. Then that means you would tell me whether they're more dense or less dense. And then you would say because they're more dense or because they're less dense, you tell me whether they would sink or rise when they are heated. Then it says also you need to explain what is happening to the air molecules once they are away from the heat source. So once they've risen or sunk, you then say once they are away from their heat source, they will start to blank. You will need to tell me, are they going to start to get cold or are they going to continue to get hot even though they're away from the heat source? Then if they're going to get cold because they're away from the heat source, tell me about the speed of those air molecules. Are the air molecules slowing down or are they speeding up? And if they're slowing down or speeding up, how does that affect the volume? Does it take up more space or less space? Then talk about the density. Because it takes up more space or less space, does it make it more dense or less dense? And then lastly, because if it's more dense or less dense, does it rise or sink? And then you will conclude this by saying either, finally, this process is done, or you'll say, finally, this process will now repeat. Okay? That is what you're putting for here. Next one, it says, identify the relationship between elevation, air pressure, and temperature in the 4 layers of the atmosphere. Be specific. All you have to do on this one is literally copy this whole entire text, put it in the answer, and do the same thing. You're going to delete the line and delete what is in parentheses. So you would delete all of this, and you would replace it with one of those words in parentheses. So it would read, as elevation in the atmosphere increases, air pressure increases, or it would say, as elevation in the atmosphere increases, air pressure decreases. And then you continue on. Because air molecules have, and you're either writing more space or less space, this causes the air to become, is it more dense or less dense? In general, air temperature also decreases or increases with increasing altitude because there are more or fewer air molecules to trap blank. What is it trapping? Therefore, all layers become hotter or colder in elevation. There are exceptions to this pattern. In the blank layer of the atmosphere, temperature increases or decreases with altitude because the ozone absorbs and traps the blank. So now you have to ask yourself, what layer is the ozone found? That's what you put here. Name the layer of the atmosphere where the ozone is found. So there's an exception to this pattern. In the blank layer, whatever that one is, troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere. And then you would say the temperature increases or decreases with altitude because ozone absorbs and traps the blank. What is it that the ozone traps? Then you're going on to the last layer of the atmosphere, the thermosphere. It says the thermosphere contains very few air molecules, so it would feel blank. You're either writing cold or hot because there are very few molecules to trap blank. What is it trapping again? In reality, the thermosphere actually measures extremely blank, hot or cold because of the sun. So that's what you're doing there. When you are finished, you can go ahead and click submit, and you can play this video as many times as you need to. You can rewind it. You can do whatever you need to in order to hear a question being read out loud again. Thank you and good luck.